I've always wanted to get away from the pressures of the city life and spend some time on a working farm, slow down, connect with nature, connect with animals, and I am so glad that I have finally done it. There's something so amazing to have breakfast here in the morning in a farm. It's still quite early, and all these animals, roosters, peacocks and sheep and goats, they're making all these sounds, and you're just sitting here sipping coffee, and it feels so good. And we're gonna go now to check animals out. They're about to start feeding them, so we're gonna see them all. It's awesome. Namaste Farm here in Temecula has a few Airbnb guest cottages, but make no mistake, it's a working farm with a farm life in a full swing. And this early bird Lucy is living right next to our cottages. It's cool, right? Like a bunch of animals following you. There are lots of chickens to check out, yes, and pigs. Oh, pigs! I haven't seen pigs yet! Oh, she's peeking at it! Oh my Turkeys God. Are pretty hilarious. Females are nosy, and male turkeys are just so pompous looking. They walk and puff. Pretty cool. Peacocks, they're so loud. They're louder than roosters. They're louder than sheep. And the only thing they have going for them is their beauty. They're so self-absorbed. They think that they're the most gorgeous thing in the world. There's really nothing else to them, but they're so pretty. They can be like that because they're just so damn pretty. Here I got to meet Connery. He basically grew up on a farm, his family owns it, and he let me to tag along for feeding and taught me so much about animals and family farm life.
I don't always give this herd this much, but once in a while I will give them a pizza party.
How does it feel growing up on a farm?
You feel different ways about it at different points in your life. Like, your opinion of it is relative to
such a good point.
Like where you're at.
Yeah.
As far as your perspective is concerned.
You know, when you're a little kid versus you're a teenager.
Like a solid example I would say is like the working aspect. When you're younger, that feels almost like punishing. And you like question why you have to do this, why you have to go outside and you have to do work. But then when you're older, like, just in order to make it in the world, you have to like develop some sort of a work ethic. So it's suddenly not as hard.
How did it happen your family got into a farm business?
Yeah, my mom has a master's in animal science from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. At some point she started going to sheep shows and she started winning these competitions. She would breed them selectively and she would put a ton of effort into cultivating them. And then eventually the flock just grew and grew and grew. Okay, I know that the ones with tail down and no horns, those are sheep. Yeah, exactly. And tails up. Tail upturned and the horns, that's for a goat. Okay, do you guys have names for them? This one right here is Pearl. Aww. Pearl. And then, yeah, that's Claire. How come some have names and some don't? If you're bottle feeding one of them and you're spending that time with them, that's typically how that evolves. Now, do you sometimes go to the city and work there, or you're mainly on the farm? It depends on where I'm at. Now I work a 8-hour day, so then I'll come here in the evening and then I'll start working again. Do you see yourself working on a farm? I find the prospect of having like enough land to like stretch your legs on to go run around and have to do some work, that's really attractive. Yeah. Like the sun's setting and it's, you know, shooting through the trees, and then I think animals are cool. You know, like every time I work in a city, of course, most of the time, and it's when I come places like this, I feel like, oh, you connect to nature, and life becomes suddenly so it makes sense, simple, priority straight, you know? Right. Once you go to the city, it's a craziness. Right. There's a lot of moving pieces. Yeah. You know, I always dreamed about staying in a farm to get away from the stress of the city. The nature, the animals, they're just so healing. And this is simple living at its ultimate best.
If you're looking for a luxurious getaway, this is definitely not it. It's so much more rustic and brings you closer to nature, but not always comfortable. But as every day was passing by, the comfort level and becoming part of it, it just became so much more natural to me to stay here. I was so sad to leave, but I am going home recharged with much more relaxed and simpler outlook on life until it gets complicated again, of course. So should we end it with a bang? And make a dust cloud? Let's do it! Okay, go!